This is the new Audi RS Q8 Performance. It has a rated engine, some exterior design tweaks, including a new font. Apparently, there's some changes inside too. And there's some new, more exciting colour schemes, if you call beige exciting. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this new version of the RS Q8. And I've always said the RS Q8 is a better buy than a Lamborghini Urus, but have I got that wrong? Well, to find out, I'm going to compare the new RS Q8 against a Lamborghini Urus in a series of tests. I've just upgraded my RS Q8. You must have that on a Lamborghini. Oh, it was close. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Carwow. To start this video, let's find out just how similar these two cars really are. To do this, I took both cars to Phillip Island Performance Cars and got them on the ramp to have a good look underneath. Surely they aren't that similar. So let's start with the Audi. Let's find out how many Audi logos we can find. We've already got off to a bad start because I found VW. Obviously, Audi is owned by VW Group, so we're going to have quite a lot of VW parts, which are probably shared with the Touareg. Here's my Audi parts. Audi on the bump stop. Audi on the shocks up there. We've got Audi here. I think this is the electronically controlled rear differential. Fuel tank, that just says VW. You know, I can take that on my Audi, I guess. It'd be worse to have that on a Lamborghini. And these exhaust parts here, got the Audi rings, got Audi on there as well. Audi up here on this heat shield. The control arms have VW Group, and shocks, I can't see Audi on those shocks, I can't really see up there. VW over there. That's the baseline. Okay, so the Lamborghini, at first glance, it looks identical to the RS Q8. However, there is one major difference, and it's the exhaust. I don't know if it's because the very latest RS Q8 has some extra particulate filters and resonators and so on and so forth, but the one on the Lamborghini just looks more straight through. The rest of it, though, it's pretty much exactly the same. So same VW control arms. Though the shock absorbers, they look slightly different, and I can't see an Audi logo on them. Though to be fair, I can't see a Lamborghini logo on them either. So that's slightly different, and the bump stops are slightly different, but once again, I can't see any Lamborghini logos on that at all. This does have an Audi logo for the diff, so same diff as in the Audi. The rest of this is all blowing the same, so it's just more like a straight through pipe rather than the different filters and stuff that the Audi had. And the VW fuel tank there, so moving forward. Oh look, yeah, Audi heat shield there, and then some VW stuff on the control arms. But no matter where I look, from this side, I cannot see any Lamborghini logos, definitely more Audi logos and VW Group logos. But really, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Under the bonnet, which is where more people are likely to look, there is some differentiation, and you actually have to look quite closely to find the Audi logos. One that sticker there just hidden behind those pipes, another one on here, one on this connector, one inside the windscreen washer fluid. My favourite is this, the oil filler cap. But really, when you open the bonnet, for most people, they're just going to see Lamborghini. So the stickers, Lamborghini logo. We've got a carbon bonnet. You don't have that on the Audi. And of course, you've got the Lamborghini engine cover with big Lamborghini written over it, and some Italian double compresso, ordine di esenzione, which is the order of the firing sequence. However, I've got an idea. I wonder if this will actually fit the Audi. This could be embarrassing. I've just upgraded my RS Q8 to a Lamborghini. It now has more horsepower. Look, instant tune of your Audi RS Q8, and we'll just detune this Lambo ever so slightly. There we go. It's the exact same engine, isn't it? Now let's stop messing about by winding up Lamborghini Urus owners and compare these two cars' engines. Yes, they are the same 4-litre twin-turbo V8. Here in the Audi RS Q8 Performance, you've got 640 horsepower, which is 40 horsepower more than the standard RS Q8. You've also got 850 Newton meters of torque, which is an uplift of 15 Newton meters. In the Lamborghini, you got the same engine, but with 666 horsepower, but the same 850 Newton meters of torque. Both have 8-speed automatic gearboxes, and both have launch control. So how will their 0 to 60 times compare? Oh, that hooked so well. 3.48 seconds. Oh yeah, I mean, great traction, great launch, great performance. Surely The Lamborghini can't be any faster. It's very Italiano. Here we go with the Lamborghini. It'd be embarrassing if it's slower than the Audi, wouldn't it? Let's go. The number doesn't lie. Whoops. I'll give it one more go. It's not gonna. Just feel quick. Oh, it was close. Just that initial launch, and that, to tell you the truth, is down to traction. Do you know what? Even though that says differently, this felt a bit quicker, but that could just be due to the Lamborghini placebo with all the yellow and the extra noise. But to be fair, that launch time is all down to that initial traction, and this just didn't hook as well as the Audi, and that could just be due to tyres. That was a bit surprising, wasn't it? One of the key upgrades that you get with the performance model of the RSQ8 is ceramic brakes as standard. You've got 440mm discs up front gripped by 10 piston calipers. You've got 370mm discs at the back. Now let's just check out the braking performance from 60 miles an hour in this car. Oh, that's quite good. 34 meters. The Lamborghini Urus also gets carbon ceramic brakes as standard, and they are the exact same size as those on the Audi. I'm pretty sure they're the exact same brakes, to tell you the truth. It just got kind of yellow calipers with Lamborghini written on them rather than grey ones with Audi. Let's see if the performance is the same. I'm gonna brake now. Oh, that felt good. Oh, Lamborghini brakes for the win. That's a big difference. 30 meters, 4 meters shorter than the Audi. That just gripped. That was a bit odd, considering they should be the same brakes. Maybe it's to do with the tyres. These are Pirellis. On the Audi, it's got Continentals. Audi has updated the look of the RSQ8 with a new grille. It's now bigger than before. Then you've got larger, lower intakes as well. In some ways it's less fussy. In some ways it's not quite so good, especially because the Audi badge, they've redesigned it. It just looks a bit flattened. You've got new headlight designs, and they're all matrix LED as standard. Depending on which trim level you go for, you have different effects, and this is the carbon black edition, so you've got carbon fibre here and here. Let's move down the side. So you've got some new alloy wheel designs. These are the range topping 23s, and on the performance, they are lightened wheels, so 5 kilograms lighter than the standard wheel per corner. The rest of it down the side is as before, but there are changes at the back which mimic those at the front. When you have new tail light design there, you have slightly redesigned bumpers, and this new kind of fake mesh, fake diffuser, fake shenanigans, and the new flat Audi badge there at the rear as well, and the new font that I've already told you about. It's a slight change. It's not a huge improvement. I think it's a good looking car. It's quite funny when you compare the Audi to the Lamborghini. The Audi's stocky appearance just looks a bit more substantial than the Lamborghini, which is more sporty. The front of the Lamborghini is quite pointed and angular, and I like it, but it seems to be lacking a chin. It sort of looks a little bit like a mouth breather. But other than that, it's just sleeker and sporty, the Lamborghini. It stands out more, though I do think this yellow paint does help. Which one do I prefer the look of? I think most of the time I prefer the Audi, but I'll probably end up picking the Lamborghini just because I'm from Warsaw and I like to show off. On the inside, as far as I can tell, the only difference compared to the old RSQ8 is the ability to get Alcantara here on the steering wheel and here on the gear selector. Oh, and here as well on the center console. Alcantara on the steering wheel really does help make the car feel more sporty. It feels performance. But I would like to have seen some more upgrades. You've still got the same infotainment system as before. It's okay to use, and you're going to run Apple CarPlay and Android Auto anyway. Digital driver's display, I mean, it's been around for a while now, but it's still functional and looks nice. You've got touch sensitive controls for your climate, but they are in an easy access menu that's always there, and the screen does click when you press it, so it feels like you're operating your mobile phone. I'd rather have physical buttons, but that's still okay. And I have to say, overall, the quality in here is very good, but that's what it was before. I do feel that the very latest Audis feel a little less premium than this generation of cars, so maybe it's a good thing they haven't evolved it too much. It's a nice place to be, but would I rather be in a Lamborghini? Well, the answer is yes and no. Let's start with the no. So there's certain things in this car which are just silly, like the controls for the drive select modes, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Most of them I don't know what they do. What's Sabia, Terra and Neve? I think that last one's snow. Anyhow, then there's a start button. It does add some theatre, you know, it's covered like the missile launcher on a fighter jet, but it's pointless. I don't like the fact that you have to pull up to go into reverse, but if you want to go into drive, you have to use the paddle shifters. and then you've got manual and park there. That's all a bit stupid. This eco button, I mean, why even have that on a Lamborghini? It's stupid, but then you've got some other modes that you can separate out there.
If you wish to use the online speech recognition service as well, please accept the license agreement.
No, I won't accept it at all. This screen setup here, like with the climate down here and this screen here, it's got an Audi vibe to it. It's very similar, as is the shape of the digital driver's display and all this. Very similar, just different graphics. You've got your Lamborghini graphics. Other than that though, the design of the interior just has a little bit more kind of panache, especially with this optional two-tone colour scheme and this yellow. Yes, this yellow stands out. And the seats as well, they just seem a bit more sporty than in the Audi. It's got more theatre, it feels more expensive, but then it is more expensive. So this car with options was £225,000. Now you might be thinking that's a little bit extreme to me, but I would like to experience this Lamborghini. Well, you can actually rent it from iX Rentals. They've lent us this car and you can borrow it off them as well. For a fee, of course. Check them out. Even the rear, this Lamborghini has plenty of drama, and you might be thinking, well, that sloping roof line is going to mean that headroom is limited here in the back, but actually no, look, it's okay. People over 6 foot will be fine, and legroom and stuff. Oh, I mean, these seats are really comfortable. I could do a serious long journey in the back of this car, well, depending who's driving. Do you know what though? The rear of this RSQ8 is slightly better, so even more headroom. Legroom's about the same, but look, I've got this feature. I can slide the seats forward to give me some more boot space and still have a decent amount of knee room. Plus, you have the option of reclining the back seats a bit or having them a bit more upright, depending on your preference. So yeah, overall, this is slightly comfier. Well, it is when you're stationary. How about when you're moving? Surely this car will be the quietest and the most comfortable. Let's find out. And to do this, I used a sound meter and a vibrometer. Starting with the sound test in the Audi. It scored an average of 82.6 decibels, but was beaten narrowly by the Lamborghini, which achieved an average of 81.1 decibels. The story was the same with the comfort test. The Lambo averaged 4.2 on the vibrometer, whereas the Audi was 4.6. One of the upgrades that you get as standard with the performance model of the RSQ8 is a performance exhaust. So let's have a listen to it. Start the engine up. Give it some revs. Soft limiter, but it does sound fruity for as much as it's revving. It's going to sound better on the move though. Let's compare it to the Lamborghini. I bet there's no soft limiter on that. This car doesn't have an upgraded exhaust. This is the standard one fitted to it. So let's have a listen to this. Revs. Oh dear Audi. You lost big time there. Now that was a bit weird. I wasn't really expecting that. Another thing that's a bit weird though is the fact that the boot on this is slightly larger than on the Audi. So you've got 616 litres of space. However, there are some things that make it a little less practical. One of them isn't this. Look, the fact you can lower it down on its air suspension. Now, one thing that is less practical is this, the low cover. This kind of big, heavy, hard low cover. It's nice that it's trimmed in Alcantara, that's good, but where do you store it? I don't know. Will it go into here? No, it won't. So you're gonna have to store that in the car, hopefully not damage it, but still, yeah, it's got a big boot. Now let's compare it to the Audis. Let's get in very quick to the boot, because I love this feature. No parcel shelf problems with this car. Look, you've got a low cover that automatically retracts and goes back into position when you shut the boot. I love it. And look, oh, come on, come out. It's right disproving my point. Audi, you're ruining this for yourself. I was going to give you a clear win, but now I've gone right off you. It helps if you're not an idiot and you open it from the right side. Okay, so look at that, much more compact. It's not going to fit, is it? It's not going to fit. Bollocks. So close, but look, it takes up less space. But you know, these boots are just much of a muchness. And yeah, once again, look, air suspension, lower it down. Will it lower? Oh, it's going up. Of course it is. No? What's going on? Where are you going? Oh, someone's just turned the car on. Is that going to help? Yes, that helped. That's going down. I'm not really sure what this segment has proved. Theatre is important in cars such as these, and they all have puddle lighting, and let's just compare the two of them. So on this Audi RSQ8 Performance, we have the RS Performance logo there. I'll just highlight it with this black matte. Now let's go check out the Lamborghini. Can it better that? Audi is famous for its lighting after all. Let's see what have Lamborghini got. Oh, already I'm preferring this. Oh, that's more like it. A load of bull. The RS Q8 does that thing that all performance Audis do, and that's that they lull you into a false sense of security. You think they're just like normal everyday cars, comfy, relaxing to cruise in, and you forget that they're absolutely unhinged because they have so much power and so much traction. So you're just coasting along, minding your own business, then you think, do you know what, I want to have a little bit of a squirt, and you put your foot down, and the thing just goes utterly bonkers. And what's really surprising, when you're going quicker, you realise that the rest of the car can actually keep up with the engine. So the handling is better than you assume. Now, this is obviously a tall SUV, so you don't expect it to handle that well, but by God, it doesn't hold onto the road and go around corners surprisingly well. Obviously, being tall and being heavy, it's no sports car, but for something this big, this practical and this usable, you can't half go down a piece of road alarmingly fast in this car. And yet, when you don't want to do that, just back it off. I'm going to come out of RS mode now into just normal mode and just chill for a bit. Oh, and because you can mix and match all the different settings, you can have hardcore focus, crazy engine mode and comfy, soft, relaxing suspension. It's good. It's a really nice car to drive. It's the kind of car you can just lend to your other half, and even if they're normally frightened by high performance vehicles, they won't even know unless they floor it. Now, I've already established that underneath the skin, this Urus is German. However, it's a German that has been raised in Italy. So unlike the RS Q8, which is kind of subdued and conservative most of the time until you provoke it, then all hell breaks loose, this is very much more flamboyant and permanently in your face. It's always shouting about its capability, no matter which of the many different driving modes you have it in. It's just more provocative, it's louder. There's a lot more gesticulation going on with this car. And do you know what? I think for the most part, my life would be better owning the Audi RS Q8. So this is just a little bit more jiggly, a little bit more tiresome, a little bit more, oh God, yeah, all right, yeah, I get the point. But when it comes to choosing which one to drive and which one to take home, I'll probably pick this, because it just seems a little bit more exciting to be with. And, you know, sure enough, when you get it into like Corsa mode, it feels even madder than the Audi in RS mode. Just that little bit more sporty. There's more noise. I mean, I think some of that is fake for the speakers. There's a slightly firmer setup. There's more exhaust noise, and the throttle response just seems a little bit harder as well. There is just something slightly more exciting about driving this Urus than the Audi. Though overall, I think the Audi might be the better package. But, I mean, look at the interior. Just like the exterior and the finesse of the driving dynamics, it's just more memorable, this Audi. Sorry, Lamborghini. Sorry, Audi Lamborghini. Thing is though, while I'd rather have the Lamborghini, that doesn't take into account the price. You see, this RS Q8 starts from £138,000 for this particular model, with options as fitted here, £150,000. That Lamborghini, it starts from around £190,000, and with options it's £225,000. So do you know what? You can keep your flamboyance and your slightly more edgy looks. I'd have this and save myself a ton of money. Or at least I think I'd be saving myself a ton of money. But that might not be the case. The purchase cost isn't the whole story. Could paying more money from the outset actually save you money in the long run? I spoke to Ben at Phil Island Performance Cars to find out. All right, Ben, imagine, right, I bought both these cars and they're both 2024s, though they are different plates. So just pretend that they're both 73 plates. I've had the cars under a year. I've done 5,000 miles in each of them. Now, the actual list price for that Audi RS Q8 with options, £150,000. So today, based on what I've just told you, what do you think I could sell that for?
For that one, I would suggest probably 130.
130. Okay, so I've lost 20 grand in just under a year.
Effectively.
Okay, this Lambo, same thing. Nice. This was 225 with all the spec on it. What do you reckon I could get for that?
I think looking at it, you probably get up to 220, I would say, for that car.
So I've only lost 5 grand off that. It's cost me more, but I've only lost 5 grand. So basically, the Lamborghini would be cheaper.
Effectively, looking at it, yeah. Interesting.
Okay, I've got one last question for you though. If I was going to chop one of these cars and you were going to sell it for me, which would you think would be the easiest for you to shift? You've got a week to do it. I need the cash now.
I mean, we sell these sort of cars, so...
Lamborghini all day, okay. I know someone else who might say that.
Good one, Matt.
So then, at the end of the day, while the Lamborghini Urus may be the most expensive, actually, in the real world, when you come to sell it on, you will lose a lot less money on it than the Audi RSQ8, and it'll be easier to sell. So it'll actually cost you less to own overall, so long as you have the ability to fund the actual outright purchase price in the first place. You know, works out a bit of a bargain really, almost free motoring if there is such a thing. And when you consider that it is the more desirable and slightly better car overall, then it becomes a no-brainer. Lambo all day, every day.